Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Greetings, I'm Skeletor, and I'm a prat. I'm always mean to everybody, and I'm not very funny.
Whiplash!
Skeletor!
Whiplash, were you mocking me then?
No, Skeletor?
Well, I heard you say, hello, I'm Skeletor and I'm a prat.
I wasn't talking about you, Skeletor.
Well, who were you talking about?
I was talking about a different Skeletor. Skeletor.
Well, you better have been.
Yes, I was Skeletor, I promise.
Well, I'm very cross anyway. Beastman is going to get a good beating because of this, and it's all your fault.
Yes, Skeletor. Thank you, Skeletor.
Now get out of my sight before I beat you as well.
Yes, Skeletor. Thank you, Skeletor.
Well, I assume everything is working. So, greetings. I am Skeletor, and welcome back to SkeleTalk, the series where I answer your questions. Let's dive straight into it with 3 questions from Kat. Her first question is, why are you blue? Well, that's a very good question. I inherited my skin colour from my mother. She was from a race called Gar, and they have blue skin. Thanks for asking. Kat's second question is, what do you like most about cats? And do you often puke on them? Well, I like cats for many reasons, the main one being their independence. A domestic cat does not need to be taken for walks, which is convenient for those with busy lives. An interesting fact about cats is that they do not have 4 legs. They have 2 legs at the back and 2 arms at the front. Their legs have feet with 4 toes, and their arms have hands with 5 fingers. They also have the most facial expressions of any animal, after humans. I have only been sick on a cat once, and I can assure you it's very difficult to wash puke out of a cat's fur. And Kat's third question is, when you had puke on your face and nobody told you about it, how did you feel? Well, I was very annoyed, but not embarrassed. It is very difficult to embarrass me. Beastman was not there that day, so I beat him the following day. Thanks for the questions, Kat. StephenGray also has 3 questions. Number 1. What is your favourite comedy series of all time? And is there an Eternian equivalent? Well, I have enjoyed many comedy shows over the years and would find it impossible to pick just one. At the moment, I am enjoying Parks and Recreation and Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I'm also a big fan of British comedies such as Blackadder, Bottom and Red Dwarf. I am also very keen on animated shows such as Family Guy and American Dad. Unfortunately, we do not have any good comedies on Eternia, I'm afraid. Stephen's second question is, if your teeth are maintained to the standards you claim, how have they maintained their garish yellow tinge? Well, my teeth are in excellent condition structurally, but unfortunately, they've become stained over the years due to heavy consumption of black coffee, red wine, and cigarettes. I did have my teeth whitened once, but it looked like I had painted them with Tipp-Ex. And thirdly, what is your favourite out of the following melons? Cantaloupe, honeydew, or watermelon? Well, I enjoy melons of any variety. I am a big fan of seedless watermelons, but of the ones you suggest, I would pick honeydew. The flavour and texture are magnificent. I have never turned down an offer of melon in my life. Thanks for the question, Stephen. BenStutley writes, "Do you have any reconnaissant updates on my errant patient, Your Darkness? In the spirit of things, I maintain the fragrance of my jackboots with a combination of Febreze, sodium chloride, and hatred. How do you maintain whatever you wear on your feet? All assistance appreciated." Well, thanks for the questions, B. I have had an update regarding the individual for which you are concerned. However, I shall not, under any circumstances, reveal this information in a public forum. I take confidentiality very seriously and will not break it. As for the maintenance of my footwear, I simply conjure up new footwear when the smell becomes unacceptable. I then give the old footwear to Beastman as chew toys. Thanks for your questions, B, but please do not inquire after your former patient again. I shall never reveal any personal information regarding his whereabouts. Next, BenStutley has sent me a rather long text message. Let me just grab my phone. Thanks for waiting. Okay. Ben writes, "Dear Skeletor, thank you for your care package. Unfortunately, the box was severely damaged in transit, and the only thing left contained was the burner SIM I now contact you upon. Thank you so much. Quite incredible of the Royal Mail, really, since I'm sleeping under a tarpaulin under a bridge over the Tweed in Berwick-on-Tweed tonight. They did leave a nice 'Sorry we missed you' card. You know, the ones with the red border and a scribble from the postie. It was covered in pungent orange hairs, though. My only question this week would be how I might disguise myself to avoid capture at the post office to retrieve the remains of your care package, given that the only things I have to hand are to be found under a bridge over a river. Thanks in advance, my lord." Well, thank you for your questions, Ben. Let me just pop my phone down and I shall answer you. Right, Ben. Well, in terms of disguise, I would recommend following the example of Stallone in Rambo or Schwarzenegger in Predator and cover yourself in mud. You should be able to find this at the bottom of the river you mention. If you then cover yourself with old leaves before going to the post office, you will have the appearance of a knackered bush, and the staff will have no clue as to your real identity. However, remember to take some form of identity with you so that you are able to claim the items I sent. Thanks for the update, Ben. LordMalvada has 5 questions this week. Firstly, have you ever been tempted to sleep in the fridge? Yes, I often think about doing this. How funny that you ask. So far, I have resisted the temptation, but I am sure that my resolve will crumble before the year is out. Aside from the attraction of the frigid temperature, I know Monkey Boy keeps his chocolate in there, and I am very keen to get my hands on it. Great question. Next, do you think it would be good if there were rabbits on the moon? An excellent question, and yes, I think it would be marvellous. Imagine them hopping about in low gravity. That would be delightful. What a fantastic idea. Question number 3. What is the worst situation you were in when somebody walked in? Well, I am not often caught in compromising situations, but once Beastman and Evil Lynn walked into my chambers while I was doing what can only be described as a wank. The following day, I installed a lock on my bedroom door. Question 4. What are the things you think about while in the toilet? Well, I have never been in the toilet, but were I to ever find myself in this situation, I would be thinking, how can I get myself out of the toilet? I assume you meant on the toilet, and I think about lots of things as you do. Sometimes I think, how many squirrels could I fit into a shoebox? Or how long would it take to paint half a leopard? Sometimes I wonder if sharks ever fart, or how far I could throw an ice cream. Occasionally I consider important things, such as, have chimpanzees ever given a round of applause? Or has anyone ever got a lamb stuck in their eye? I also like to guess the weight of the poo I have done, and I make Beastman weigh it when I am finished. I do not know what he does with the poo afterwards, but it is none of my business what he does with my business. Finally, what was the most embarrassing thing you did on public transport? Well, I was once travelling on a packed bus from Ely to Peterborough, and halfway through the journey, for no discernible reason, I stood up and shouted "tumble dryer" very loudly before sitting down again. Everybody looked at me, and I felt like a right Burke. On another occasion, I was on a packed train from Norwich to Leeds, and just after leaving Norwich, I leapt to my feet and shouted "tumble dryer" at the top of my voice. Everyone looked at me, and I felt like a right prat. I also once took a donkey ride in Brighton and shouted "tumble dryer" at the animal. I was riding the creature, but it was not alarmed. Thank you for your questions, LordMalvada, and thank you for your questions, everybody. If you liked the episode, please give it a thumbs up, and do share it with your minions. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do leave any questions or comments for me for next week. But until then, I'm going to eat jammy Dodgers and watch 28 Days Later. See you later. Bye.